Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
It's just you and me, kid.
Okay.
So I'm going to use a ball, but if you don't have a ball, do you have a ball where you are?
No, but I have a Pilates ring.
Okay, good. Okay, and then when I'm going to do some hamstring rollouts, so you just do walkouts
Sure.
from a bridge. Okay, we're good. So water and a towel. I'm also going to use this long band for some bicep curls today. But if you don't have a long band, you can always just use regular weights and then a smaller band for our hips. Okay, enough of all that business we had to take care of. Take your feet nice and wide. You can put your hands on your thighs and shift your hips back. So you've got to pull in the belly when you're inverting your upper body. That helps you to brace your spine. So hold on this spot, get used to that activation of the six-pack muscle, crowd out the chest. Now I want you to take the elbows and just squeeze them into the sides of the body. And just hold on this spot for a second. Take a few deep breaths so you really feel the ribs expand while you breathe. And now come back up to standing. You're going to take this left arm straight out. Your palm's going to face the midline of the body, and then you're going to slowly reach it up. Once you're up, take it over. Keep the arm nice and long. Keep reaching. You're trying to lengthen the side body here. Now come back up. Bring the arm down. You're going to switch. Parallel to the floor. Retract the shoulder. Then sweep it up. Straight up to the ceiling. And then over. Nice long arm, keep breathing. And now come back. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And then swan dive it all the way down. Keep your arms long. Now you're going to completely unweight that upper body. How good does this feel? Get some good blood flow to your face. Hang out here for 3 or 4 breaths. Make them fabulous. Your head should just be chilling. Now we want to keep our legs as straight as we can get them here. Now you're going to start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Great. Now thumbs up, make a fist, and sweep your elbows back. As far back as you can get them. So you feel that really big pinch in your thoracic spine. Now, squeeze the elbows towards each other. So you got 2 things, back and squeeze. Fold halfway down, nice and slow. And then come back up. And you're going to do this 4 more times. Keep that arm activation and that squeeze. Now, this last one, when you fold down, you get to release the arms down to the floor. Take baby steps. Walk yourself out to a plank. Once you're in your plank, you're going to pull back to a down dog. You haven't changed your feet. They're still on the edges of the mat. Now come back forward and push backwards. Make sure you can always see your arms through your peripheral vision when you're pushing back. So you don't want to go too far. Just start to keep oscillating between forward and back. When we're back, we're driving the heels to the floor. When we're forward, we're as high up on the tippy toes as possible. It's a great opportunity to awaken the feet, your ankles. We're going to do 5 more, nice and slow. Pair it with nice big deep breaths. Still haven't lost that engagement of the belly, right? Super important. Okay, meet me in your high plank. Step your feet in so they're hip width apart. Now from this position, we're going to lower down onto the forearms. So you're in your low plank. We're going to put our knees down on the floor and isometrically pull the elbows and knees together. Just hold that really strong activation of the six-pack muscle while you take 3 big deep breaths. Nice. Now let the hips relax to the floor. Come onto the tops of your feet. We're in baby cobra. Big deep breaths. But while we're here, guess what? We're still drawing the belly button in. Now let's tuck the toes back under. Let's lift your hips back. Walk your forearms back to your knees and meet me in child's pose. Oh my goodness, how lucky is this? Big deep breaths. Now come back up. Lower back down onto the forearms and walk them back forward to a kneeling low plank. Isometrically pull the knees and elbows towards each other. Your toes stay tucked under. We're going to lift off the knees, push the heels to the back of the room. Legs are locked out straight. Now slow motion, lower the knees. Keep that isometric pull together of the elbows to knees. Come back up off the knees, nice and slow. Drive those heels backwards. Draw the belly in. Put your knees back down. Hold the activation. Lift the knees. And lower. Walk it back. We're going to come up onto all fours here and do some nice cat-cows. So tucking the pelvis under, dropping the head, and arching the back. As best you can here, hold on this spot. Now rock the hips back a little bit, and then hold. Come back forward, reverse it. So you're dropping into the shoulders, drop the chest down towards the floor, draw the belly in, take your gaze, look forward. Your coccyx bone is pointing up towards the ceiling. You have a nice big arch in the back. Without releasing the tummy, do it again. Round, let the head go. Shift back a little bit. Breathe deeply, super duper important. And come back, drop that chest in between the arms. Hold here for a few breaths. Now let's neutralize the spine. Come off your knees 1 inch. You haven't forgotten about that stomach. Now squeeze your knees together and then open them. And squeeze and open and squeeze and open. You have 3 more, nice and slow. Squeeze, big squeeze, very powerful. Open, squeeze, open, big squeeze, open, and squeeze. Why not? This is so good for us. 1 more, squeeze, and small down dog. Push the heels down and get your legs as straight as possible. Now elevate nice and high on the tippy toes. Lower the knees 1 inch above the floor. Shoulders are right over the wrists. Go back to squeezing your knees and opening. You're going to do 10. About halfway, 5 more. Time flies when we're having so much fun. 4, 3. Hopefully you're feeling these inner thighs. 2. And squeeze and back to that down dog. Heels down. How good does that feel? Nice and high on the toes. Back to bear. Squeeze and release 10 times, and then we're moving on. It's amazing what we can do with our body when we have no equipment. Whew, should be hard. Breathe through it. Inner thighs talking to you, I hope. 3, 2, and 1. Have a seat. Oh, we deserve a little reprieve, right? So we're going to lie down. You can get down Pilates style. Bring your heels to the corners of the mat. Here we go. All the way down nice and slow. Once you're there, arms go straight back. Now, separate those palms wider than shoulder width with your hands, palms facing the ceiling. And now bring the thumbs so they touch each other. Spread your fingers wide. Open back up. And then squeeze the thumbs together. And then open nice and wide. And then squeeze. You're going to do 2 more. When you're squeezing those thumbs, you're activating muscle, right? Push them into each other. And then release. 1 more. Now, bring the palms together and bring the arms back up all the way forward as far down as you can get them with your palms together, and then take them back. Now, it's okay if your lower back is not pressing down on the floor, but I want you to draw the belly down. So those muscles are continuously engaged. We're just flossing shoulders. Your lats should feel like a nice little stretch. Keep the arms nice and long. We're going to do 5 more. Okay, now roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to take the upper body between the legs for a nice little stretch. Should feel this behind the legs and through the lower back. So we're not done with our inner thighs yet, of course. We got them definitely warmed up. We're going to start class today working inner and outer thighs. So get your Pilates ring. I'm going to get my little bowl. Squeeze it between the knees. Take yourself down. And we are going to do this for 1 minute. So you squeeze and then you release. And squeeze and release. So it's pretty deliberate. You're not going quickly, but you're not going really slow either. So we're going to get quite a few repetitions in within 1 minute. So I'd like you to be nice and flat on the shoulder blades. Adjust if you were not. And you can add a nice little pelvic tilt while you do this, like a little Kegel, and then release, and then just keep that going. Why not? It's good for us. The more muscles you can work at one time, the more you accomplish in that 45 minutes. So when we get close to the 1 minute being over, we're going to do a couple of holds. Okay, so we got the first hold here. So just squeeze as best you can. Your feet are on the floor. Your arms are relaxing by your side. You're just pulling the knees together. Keep pressing the belly down while you breathe. You're here for 5 more deep breaths. Okay, release, but don't lose your ring or the ball. Hold just for a little reprieve. And now we're going to do our second hold. We're going to lift the feet off the floor. So let's lift up, now squeeze and just hold. You can flex your feet. You can try to do a little pelvic tilt so you feel your lower back skin on the floor and squeeze that ring. Very advanced move, lots of load on those inner thighs and the core. You're tilting up, you're pressing the stomach down. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and put your feet down on the floor, but don't lose your ring. We're going to do some crunches before we move on to our outer thighs. So here we go. Arms are on the floor by your side. You're going to rock the pelvis up so the lower back is on the floor. You're going to lift your feet up and pull the knees towards you, and then crunch up with your chin tucked and your arms reaching forward off the floor. Palms face down. And then put yourself back down on the floor. So simultaneously this time, when you raise the feet up and you tilt your pelvis up, you're going to crunch up your upper body with your chin tucking. Here we go. Lift up, pull in, arms are reaching forward, squeeze your knees. Take it down. You have 3 more to do. Don't forget to breathe while you're holding up there. Crunch up. And release it. So the whole while you're breathing during the hold, you're trying to tilt the pelvis up more, and you're trying to raise the shoulder blades higher up off the floor. So it's not like you're getting to a happy place and you're just chilling. You're constantly trying to improve the exercise. Here's your last one. Make it great. Belly draws down, arms reach forward, chin is tucked. Tilt that pelvis, drive those knees in a little more. You're here for 5, 4, get higher up off those blades. 3, 2, and release. Okay. Say goodbye to that ring. Take yourself up. Before we start the outer hips, you're going to grab your band, but before we put it on, we're going to do a nice little stretch for our inner thighs. So take your feet nice and wide apart, your legs, sorry. Sit up tall, so your spine is long, and then walk forward. Your toes are either turning towards the back of your room or facing straight up at the ceiling. When you can't keep your spine long anymore, lower the forearms and round your back. Okay, walk it back up. You're gonna bring your feet back together. That felt good, I'm sure. Take this band, wrap it just above the ankles. Get yourself lying down again. And here we go with our legs up towards the ceiling. Now, do you want to work your belly while you work your outer hips? I think the answer is yes. So with your feet flexed and your heels over your hips, now I want you to move your feet forward 3 inches. So it's more like with your feet flexed, it's more like the toes are over your hips. If your lower back is down on the floor, which I would like it to be, you should already feel a tremble of the belly. Keep pushing it down and now open the legs. So not only are you working now these outer hips, but you're also working your 6-pack muscle. Bring the feet back close together again. So you get a reprieve, but the legs are staying forward the whole time. So the belly gets no reprieve. You just have to breathe through it. Close and open. So when we open up, we're holding 5 counts. You can do your own counting. And when we close, we just do it slowly. And then you're right back to opening. Really important to come back together nice and slow. It's good for you. And when we open, we fight to get the feet or the legs further apart. This is not like open and chill. This is open and then work to open more. Keep that pelvis tilting up. Keep the toes over the hips or even further in front of the hips. If you're not feeling a tremble in the belly, your legs are too far back. Do it again. Keep going. Nice and relaxed face, nice and relaxed shoulders, arms. This is all about the core and the hips. Close. Again, open. And close. And open. And close. You have 4 more. Yes, you can. Find a way. Do your own counting here for your last 3. So your last 2 should be as good as your first 2. Last 1. Hold it out, count to 5 slowly. And release it. Oh my goodness. Get rid of the band. Full body stretch. Take your legs all the way down and the arms all the way back. Big deep breaths while you hold this. Okay, bring the arms forward, tuck your chin, roll yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Take it between the legs with your spine flexed. Nice little reprieve here. Okay, take it back up. We're gonna come back up, standing up on your mat. I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. So we're gonna do an exercise without any weights. We're working a little bit on mobility. So I'm gonna have you stand, not all the way to the back of the mat, maybe 2/3 of the way back. You're gonna bring your hands to heart. You're gonna step your left foot forward and lunge, and then push back. You're gonna step your right foot forward, lunge, push back, and keep going. You're gonna feel the heart rate come up a little bit. You can go as slow or as fast as you like, but I want your steps big and a powerful push back. So really push it back. Try to lower that back knee all the way down to the floor or as close as you can get, and keep going. Now to advance this move and work a little bit more of our upper back, we can take the hands behind the head, clasp your fingers together, keep your chest nice and proud, and keep going. Great exercises to do when you don't have access to weights. Great to get the heart rate up a little bit. Just keep going. Now, if your elbows are pulling forward, try to keep them back. Whew. We're going to do 4 more. Okay, release the arms. Shake it out. Now you're going to come to the front of the mat. Hands to heart. We're going to do a reverse lunge. So you're going to step back, hold it, just breathe. So I've got my right knee a little bit behind the hip and just above the floor. And then come back and do the same with the other one. Now, if it's hurting your knee or you feel uncomfortable, step your back foot in a little closer and then focus more on going straight down. You want to feel an activation on the opposite hip. Come back, switch again. So you're prouding out the chest, you're looking forward, come back and switch. You decide how far that foot goes back, but this front leg, I'd like you to wade into the heel. Come back up and switch. Back up. And when you come up, you're pressing really hard. No weight in those toes. I'm going to do a few more. Give me that nice hold. Then up. Step it back. Sink it low. Come back up. And nice job. Okay. I'm going to use a disc. And we're going to do some rotation with the disc, which is really good for our pickleball and golf and all of the activities that we do. So why not do it now? Okay, here we go. Hands out in front. I've got the disc. I want you to be able to see it. The disc on my right foot. There we go. Slide it back. I want you to go back with a nice forward lean of the upper body, but your spine nice and long. Great job. Okay. Now, if you don't feel this left glute going, holy shit, what are you about to do to me? Take your back foot and move it further back. Or lean more forward. Now, with your hands at your heart, you're going to rotate to face the left side of your room. Without lifting the torso up. You got that big, huge forward lean. Come back and do it 4 more times. Rotate and return. Nice job. Take your hands down. So you're just stepping back to plank. That means you're able to take that to no return because you just end up on the floor. Down dog. Walk your feet forward. Extend the spine. Reverse it all the way back up. Reach for the ceiling. Hands to heart. Find your disc again. Switch feet. Slide back. You want to get a bit edgy with this position. So, bigger forward lean. Weight in the heel of the front foot. Back leg as far back as you can handle. Now give me 5 slow and steady turns to the right. Without lifting up that torso. Come back. And again. And back. And again. And back. And give me 2 more. Get edgy. You know you're just going to take it down to a plank, so you're good. Here we go. Plank. Now we're going to do some scapular rotations here. So I want you to lower the chest and then press away from the floor. While you keep your legs locked out straight, up and down with the torso. It's really a scapular push-up. You're not bending the elbows to move the body up and down. You're just moving the body up and down. You have 3 more. Pull back to a down dog. Walk your feet forward. Extend the spine. Reverse it all the way back up. Reach for the ceiling. Okay, we're going to do some bicep curls. I'm going to use the band. Whatever you want to use. Here we go. Let's put the mat back. Find your mat. Get it back in place. We have a little cushion to stand on. I'm going to step on this band. My feet are a little narrower than hip width just because of the tightness of the band. But you adjust as you go here, right? So we're going to start out alternating. You're going to take the right arm all the way up, and your left arm is just going to stay straight. You're going to come down halfway with the right and back up. And this is exactly the same if you're using weights instead of a band. You're just doing a half bicep curl. Right arm all the way. Now, if you're using a weight, don't over squeeze it. Nice and steady. Great posture is super important. Now, we don't like the elbow to pull forward. We kind of like to keep it in place right by the side of your body. You have 5 more. Hopefully you're starting to feel that bicep. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Shake out that arm. Here we go with the opposite side. Your elbows tucking into the side of the body. The only part of the arm that moves is the elbow to the wrist, right? Stand up tall. Most of us are stronger on one side than the other. Try to keep it as even on both as possible. So just work as hard as you need to kind of get through it without, this is the key, without losing your form. It's all about standing tall, keeping your spine long, lifting yourself out of those hips. Just focusing on that bicep. You have 5 more. Okay, that's it for me. Whew. Put it away. We're coming down. We're going to do some flies and some chest presses and then stretch and call it a day. So whatever weights you normally do for chest presses is what we should grab. Hopefully flies as well. So let's meet lying down. Let's get our weights up with your palms facing forward. Now let's have the weights touch each other. So you have a clear view of those wrists. I would like them to be neutral. No bend at the wrist. Now right arm only comes down and back up to touch the left weight. Stay on that right arm and go up and down. Resisted going down. Coming up, you can go as quick or slow as you like, but really take it down slow and steady. Somewhere between 3 and 5 counts. Keep that other weight barely moving at the top, nice and steady. Do 5 more, and then we're going to add a little rotation of that right palm. And we're going to do 10 more reps. Okay, so for the last 10 reps, you take it down, you're working the same arm, you come up and you turn your palm to face the left side of your room. So it's not going to touch the left weight, it's just going to come close. And keep going for 8 more. You're rotating it as you start to lift it back up. So by the time you get up, it's already rotated. Okay, now take both palms to face, lower the weights to your chest, a little reprieve before we start that left arm. Okay, back up. Your regular position for presses. Left elbow comes down and then right back up to touch the other weight. Now start that rotation of the arm when you start to lift it up. Okay, let's hold both together at the top, and we're going to do 12 flies and call these arms, the arm work, done. So you're opening up nice and wide, back of the arms touch the floor, squeeze your chest as you pull them back together. Okay. Bring those weights together, rock and roll yourself up. Woo. We're going to sit up in staff pose. So your heels are in the corners of the mat. We're going to take both hands, clasp the fingers together. You're going to lean forward and wrap these hands around the bottom of that foot. Now we're using the upper body to pull the foot towards us. So you're getting a big stretch through the back of the lower leg. Hold it. 3 more breaths. So I'm not rounding my back, I'm just leaning forward. My arms are working because they're pulling the foot. Okay, release it, come back up. Do the same on the other side. Clasp the fingers together. Find the back of that foot. Give me your best effort to pull the foot towards you. And release it. Now we're going to take our legs even wider. So make sure you've got room. Get them far, far, far apart. Sit up tall. Your left forearm is going to come down outside that left leg. So you're just leaning over sideways here. Now take the right arm, palm facing forward, lift the arm up. Feel a stretch over that right hip, I hope. Reach that arm long, try to get the arm pulling back. Okay, bring the arm down, come up, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. So we take the right forearm down to the floor till the elbow's down, and then left arm reaching straight up and backwards. Nice. Okay, come on back up. Should have felt that really over both hips. Okay, we're going to round the back and we're going to take it down. Walk the arms out. Keep the forearms on the floor. Big deep breaths here. Okay, bring it up. One more stretch for each leg. So I'm going to bend my left leg, tuck it inside the right one, walk it forward. So it's kind of a modified 90 stretch. Try to keep the sit bones on the mat. Hold here and breathe. Your spine is in flexion. Upper body is relaxing forward over the leg. Okay, take it back up. Now you're going to straighten the left leg, heel off the mat, pull the right heel inside. Kind of almost like a 90-degree angle with this right leg, or maybe not quite, but close to it. Walk it down. Such a good stretch. Try to keep both sit bones on the floor. Let's take some nice big deep breaths. Okay, let's walk it up. Stand both legs out, shake them out, pull the left foot in, then the right foot in. Use your hands to get up onto your toes. Hold here just for a breath or two, nice and high on the toes. Should feel good, right? Keep your heels in line with the rest of the foot. Now, full forward fold. Legs nice and straight. Inhale, extend the spine. Reverse it all the way back up, reach and lift. And I thank you so much for your power and strength. We did it. Nice job.